Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. We're going to try to get started back on this regular content of getting the horses back in shape. Right now I'm feeding. It is 7 o'clock, September 8th, and it is 62 degrees outside. It's about to start, I probably should have wore sweatpants out here if we're being honest. Instead I wore my sleep shorts and it is a little bit too chilly. So, today's ride, we're going to be wearing jeans, of course, and we're going to be getting on Foxy for the first time in 8 months. Now, before I like to ride, I like to feed. So, that way we're preventing ulcers. The horses aren't riding on an empty stomach. Them actually riding full is a preventative for stomach ulcers. So, they're going to eat their breakfast first, and then we're going to ride. But I'm going to go let them in because Seze's looking at me.
Oh my goodness, what are you guys doing? Hello, how are you, dear? Hi, Sunny. You got an attitude already this morning. Great. Come on, Dee. Oh, a little pep in your step this morning.
Alright, so Fox is already acting moody. It's 62 degrees when it's been hot. So she's probably feeling a little bit frisky this morning. We love that. What a better way to get on a cold back horse than on a cold morning. Little chilly morning. She's gonna be feeling herself today. Hopefully I don't get bucked off.
Oh, glad for you to join us. What you got on your nose? A leaf? Leaf in the spider web?
Alright, so I don't think it has the same effects on people of eating before you do any kind of activity. It might, I don't know. I haven't done the research on that. But I'm going to go ahead and eat breakfast while they're eating breakfast because this might be the only time I get to eat this morning.
Hi, pretty girl. Okay. Let's get that nose piece on. Yeah. Over the head. Good girl. That's a good girl. You ready to go ride? Yeah? You want to go for a little ride? Alright, come on. Come on. Good girl. Oh. Alright, come on.
Okay, guys, so let's get Foxy over here to the horse trailer, get her tied up and ready to go so we can start tacking her up. But before I do, I noticed that she ends up needing to use a little potty break, so I let her do her business, and then we get her situated back up over here to the horse trailer so that we can tie her. So I don't know what the name of this knot is. I just know that I have been doing this tie for, oh, I don't even know how many years. But we do this with all the horses. We have always done this with all the horses. I get over here into the tack room. It's a little messy. I haven't been in here in a while, guys. But I have my handy dandy little rope that I like to clip over here onto the side of the jack to keep that propped open in case the wind catches it or anything, so it's not slamming it shut. But we're going to go through and brush her real quick. I've sped this part up so that that is why it may look a little bit funny. Then we got Jack Kitty in the background. Going to go through and really brush where the saddle pad is going to go. Coming in here to the horse trailer and grabbing my saddle pad. I do not know what brand saddle pad this is. I actually had a lady give this saddle pad to me a couple years ago, and I'm so incredibly thankful for her. Now coming over here to the saddle rack, everyone loves this little handy dandy rigging invention deal. And I know it's not our invention, but we were able to weld the saddle rack up to where it will swing out like that. That way I'm not going in and out of the tack room with it and hopefully not tripping out of the horse trailer. But back to this, going through, pulling out the back cinch, and getting everything situated on her. As you seen, I had picked up that front of the saddle pad to kind of teepee it so it's not putting all kinds of pressure on her shoulders, giving her a little bit of room to move around. As you can see, I got a Boca brand curb chain, curb strap on my bridle. I was finally able to get that on there, thank goodness. But we're going to go through and get her cinched up. But as I walk around here, and Foxy has been off for about 8 months now, I pull out the cinch, I sit there and look at it, and I realize that it is definitely going to be way too short. It's not going to work.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna have to let that other side out.
So I'm going to go ahead and just secure this where the girth is going to be hanging up like that. And then I'm going to come around and drop it down just a couple of notches.
Let's just drop it 2 holes just to see where that's looking.
So when I cinch up my horses, I like the girth to be even on both sides. And right here, it looks pretty good to me. So we're going to go ahead and fasten up the cinch, get it tight on her. And when I say tight, I mean pretty snug. It's not going to be too incredibly tight on her. I like to have my saddle a little bit looser when I ride, so it's nothing too extreme. But I'm going to go through and get all this squared away. Going to give y'all a good angle down here. Now, this cinch is new. This is actually the Weaver Airflex cinch, and I had gotten that as a Christmas present last year. So, and I have not rode since February, mind you. So this still looks fairly new, but I've not had a girth quite like this. Before, I was riding in a Charmaine James signature professional's choice girth, and I probably rode in that for 10 years, probably. It's been a minute since I've had to get new like girths slash cinches, whatever you want to call it, saddle pads, all of that kind of stuff. So a lot of the equipment that I have, I really ride it out and just get a lot of wear and tear. But we've got her saddled up here, and now we're gonna come around and get the bridle and just look over a couple more things here. So with Foxy's setup, I had actually gotten her headstall out of a tack trailer, and the purpose of it is a quick change kind of headstall, so I can easily change out a hack or more within a matter of seconds if need be. But I really got it for the simplicity of the headstall, and I had actually gotten it for Sunny whenever I was barrel racing on him. I still have his headstall, but I had also went and bought a second one for hers. So now I have two of the quick change headstalls. And as you can see, she's a little bit of a con artist, catching the attention of something else just to eat grass next to the horse trailer. But as you can see, I can get her attention back. She's a very quiet kind of horse. She likes to please. So I'm able to bring her head around and start getting her ready to put the bridle on her. And she does play with the bridle ever so slightly. So I do have to bring my hand up just to keep her from bringing her head too far up like that. And so she knows that if I have my hand up in between her ears that she can't go too terribly far, so she doesn't really try to push it a whole lot. And then you see that I get her bangs situated. I like to adjust the bit once it's in her mouth. And then I notice that the curb chain is just slightly off. I don't like where it's sitting exactly, so I'm going to take a few minutes to fix that. And now that we're back over here, we're going to go ahead and fix this side. I ended up having to drop this side a little bit and pick up the other side. So we're just going to make a quick adjustment to this to where it sits where I want it to on her. So now that we have the curb strap adjusted, I'm just going through looking over a couple of things briefly before we get on her. Every time that I leave the horse trailer, I like to go ahead and tie up the halter like so. That way it's completely off the ground and it usually just sits there. Now, I used to have a mare that whenever you walked her after you cinched her up, she would go crazy and buck and rear up and everything. So I just wanted to go ahead and bring her away from the horse trailer before I got on her and bringing her around, doing one last little check. And before I get on, I like to grab the saddle, do a little wiggle, just make sure it's got a little bit of wiggle room. That's usually how I like to ride in my saddle. And she starts to walk off. There are some things that I will nitpick about, and there are some that I won't. This is just one of those things that I will. And just simply because I've trained her and her daughter to stand still whenever I get on, whenever I had rode Sass and Sunny and all my other horses that I've had in the past, they'd always walk off. And so now that I'm getting older, I'm kind of like in the smaller things in life where they just stand still when I get on. So that is something that I will get on to her about. And as you can see, she is throwing a couple little fits, and I think that's because I haven't been on her in a good couple months. So we're not going to be too picky, but I do want her to know, like, hey, I want you to stand still. Now we're going to go over here to the barrel pattern. The barrel pattern isn't officially set up. The barrels are off to the side of the arena. And as you can see, it is nowhere near ready to be barrel raced on. But now I will do a little section in this video of a ride with me. But if you're interested in seeing what I do with my horses after they've had a good little break, you are more than welcome to watch the rest of the video. Now, on this ride, I'm just going through and walking her around the arena. This is usually what I do in our warm-up sessions. So as you could clearly see there, she did not whoa whenever I had asked her to. And if you did not quite catch it, basically I have trained Foxy as somewhat of a cutting horse background in her training. So I try to do a lot of motions with the seat, motions with my legs, and trying to give her cues that way. So if you missed that, I had sat back in my saddle and brought my feet a little bit forward to kind of give her a whoa to back up, and she didn't really back up. She just kind of did a quick little spin around there. So now we're going to go the other way and see what she gives us this time. Now let's try it again. Now you can see me drop my right foot. I'm asking her to push her hip to her left and back up straight so that she quits turning. So now I'm going to turn Foxy around here, and we're going to do something similar to our everyday kind of warm up whenever I do ride her. And right here, I'm asking her to flex, but she seems to have her attention on something else. So I finally get her head brought around, and we start to do a little bit of lateral flexing.
Flex.
Me personally, I like to do this little stretch right here just to see if there's any kind of tension that she's holding in her neck, or if she may be stiff on one side more than the other. I find it's beneficial that way. I know there was a lot of controversy on this subject on social media a couple months back. And as you can see right here, I end up adjusting my hand just a little bit, and it throws her off, so I have to stop her. We're going to back her up, just get her resituated here, and then continue to flex.
Flex. Good girl. Flex. Good girl.
And then we go on with the rest of our ride. As you can see, I'm not doing anything super crazy with her. She's swinging her head a little bit, and I think it's from the bit. But we go down here. You see me adjust my hand. Her ears twitch. And that's really just me giving her the leg cue to turn to the left right here. And she does really great with that. And then I'm going to swap my hands and take her to the right. I feel she was a little bit sticky in some places, but she was able to bring her neck around, responded to that leg cue that I gave her. And now we're going to go back over here. I swap my hand back over, and I start to steadily pulse on her left side with my foot. And as you can see, she's responding. She's showing me that left ear that she feels it, and she slightly turns, which I'm not asking her to turn too much, just slightly to make a big round circle. And I feel working with her with the inside rein, inside leg on getting her to turn this way. A lot of people really enjoy watching me barrel race when they see that I throw my hand straight up to her head and I'm not pulling on her too much. What people don't see is that I'm actually using my inside leg going around the barrels. and so I don't really have to turn on her head too much. And a lot of people think that we just sit there when we barrel
Good
race,
job.
but I just wanted
Yes,
to
ma'am.
bring this to light of there's a lot of moving parts. But as you notice, that right ear keeps coming back, and that's just her responding to me bumping my foot. I'm not holding my foot on her, I'm just slightly bumping my heel every couple steps, and she's just
Good
turning
girl.
along with that. So we make a nice smooth circle there. And now we're coming down here by the third barrel at this far corner. I want to make
Turn.
a sharp right turn,
Turn.
such as a barrel turn in this corner. She caught something out of the corner of her eye over there, so we were able to get her pulled around. As we went off to the other corner, she had kind of slipped on something, so I just turned her around just to make sure there were no holes in this area. It doesn't seem like it, so I think we're going to go back on over here. And I'm just going to bring her kind of towards the middle of the arena and make a sharp left turn
Good
just to kind
girl.
of see how she's responding to my leg there. Now, I'm sure some of y'all are wondering, like, what is the purpose of this? Really, I'm just going through walking. I'm not asking her to go outside of a trot because she has been off for a long time. I don't want to
Hey,
encourage any
hey,
kind of
hey,
bleeding
hey,
or
hey.
soft tissue injuries here. So we're going to be starting things back really slowly. This is kind of what I call a test run of just brushing up on a couple of things. Like I said in the
Good
beginning,
girl.
I had really
Good
did
girl.
some cutting training on her where I use a lot of leg cues. So I'm just touching up on those, seeing where she stands, if she's still good.
Alright. Can you square up and give me a good backup? Whoa. Back up straight. Straight. Back up, back up, back up, back up, back up. Good girl. Whoa.
And now that we've finished our ride, I now have a better idea of some things that we can work on a little bit more and some things that she's doing pretty good on. But we're going to go ahead and end this right here.
Good girl. Oh, oh, oh. Face rubs. Face rubs. What is that? Oh my goodness. That's a lot. Yeah, that's a lot. Alright.
Now we're going to take off the bridle. I'm going to leave the reins on her neck so that way if she gets away from me, I still have something. But we're going to take off this halter off the trailer to put it on her. And I'm going to ask her to pick up her head real quick. Here we go.
Yeah, thank you. Also, if you hadn't noticed, I keep the clips where the thing is out here because if for whatever reason something like they bump against her chin, if the clip is in, I have seen it accidentally come undone from bumping the chin. So I like to put my clips out. We're gonna leave this set up like this because I'm about to get on Seze, which is Foxy's baby. Yeah. Alright. You can't just eat grass all the time. I know you've been waiting for that, huh? Yeah, come on. Let's go put you back up. You guys to come on.
All right, Foxy did so good, and I just finished writing Seze. Y'all will have to wait till next week to see how that went. But now that we're at the end of both of the girls' riding for the day, we're gonna go ahead and give them some treats. And these are called cookies, or this is what I call them, as cookies. So let's go give the horses some cookies. Hey Fox, you want a cookie? You want a cookie? Yeah, hey sweet girl. Oh, I know that you're ready for it. There you go. You want a cookie? Oh, the droopy lip. The droopy whip. See you looking at me. Hi, T-Bone. I know you probably don't need this, but I know you like them. All right, guys. Thank God that Foxy wasn't super sassy this week. I think because of her break off, she's really excited to come back. So she was like really ready for me to start riding her again. And she did so good. I cannot wait for y'all to see her make her comeback. Once again, none of this was injury related or anything. Like, her and Seze have not been off due to injuries or anything like that. We've just been renovating a house, so they have had a lot of time off. But we're gonna get back into the swing of things, get ready for WPRA's 2025 season that starts October 1st. I don't think that we're gonna be running anything in October. I would like to go to some bigger barrel races that are co-approved in November and December, and then Louisiana rodeos start in January. So we need to start getting these girls going. Seze needs to start getting trained and seasoned, and Foxy needs to get finished with her seasoning. So all kinds of fun sorts and things. I'm glad that y'all decided to click on this video, and be sure to stay tuned for next week because we're going to be riding Seze after 7 months off. So all kinds of exciting things. Little hint, I did not get bucked off today. So I will be seeing y'all next week. Bye, guys.